The quantum code, re-engineering the word. Most people read the Bible as a book of stories. They're looking at the packaging and missing the schematic. With my background in mechanical engineering and IT, I don't look for religion. I look for data integrity. Modern physics, the physics of 2026, is finally catching up to what was written thousands of years ago. We're talking about the collapse of the wave function, written in ancient Hebrew. Think about it. If in the beginning was the Word, and the Word is a frequency, then the universe isn't a place, it's a broadcast. If you're struggling with health or lack or stuckness, you don't have a spiritual problem, you have a signal interference problem. You're trying to run a 5D consciousness on a 3D operating system that hasn't been patched since the Bronze Age. Today, we're going into the source code. No sugarcoating, no blind faith, just raw quantum logic. Let's look at the specs. Let's look at a piece of the code. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Most people hear that and think it's a nice thought. Wrong. That is a technical manual for a biological transducer. As a systems integrator, I see the physical wreckage of bad data every day. When you hold onto a frequency of fear or an unresolved trauma, you aren't just stressed. You are literally storing a high-voltage charge in your connective tissue. You are creating a data jam in your nervous system that blocks the 3D broadcast of a healthy body. You think you're sick? No, you're locked. Your heart, the body's primary electromagnetic oscillator, is sending out a distorted signal, and your 3D reality is simply rendering the error. If I take a machine with a bent crankshaft and try to pray it back to health, I'm an idiot. I have to physically realign the hardware. That is what faith actually is. It's the intentional collapse of the wave function into a specific high-definition result. It's not hope. It's applied bioengineering. If you're still waiting for a miracle to fall from the sky, you're running a wait-and-see loop that will drain your battery until you're dead. Stop waiting. Start coding. The hardware bottleneck, signal integrity. Let's get one thing straight. I don't care about your feelings. I care about your signal integrity. When I worked in IT, if a server was overheating, we didn't sit in a circle and send it love. We looked for the hardware bottleneck. Your body is no different. Those emotional blocks people talk about, in reality, those are stored kinetic energy patterns. They are literal, physical disruptions in your bioelectrical wiring. When you experience a trauma or a high-stress event and you don't process it, your nervous system doesn't just forget, it archives it. It locks that tension into your deep tissue to protect the core. But here's the glitch. That locked energy creates static. It's like trying to run a high-speed fiber optic signal through a rusted copper wire. You can visualize success all day, but if your physical hardware is jammed with old corrosive data, the broadcast will fail every single time. You don't need a healer. You need a system upgrade. You need to physically defrag your nervous system to allow the quantum signal to pass through without distortion. Most of you are walking around with a 1970s CPU trying to render a 2026 reality. It's time to clear the cache. It's time to drop the baggage and rewire for power. Legacy code, the past life data jam. Now let's talk about the data you didn't even know you were carrying. In IT, we call it legacy code. It's old software, written for a different era, that's still running in the background and crashing your current apps. Most people call these past lives. I call them unresolved frequency archives. If you have a phobia, a chronic pain that no doctor can explain, or a recurring glitch in your relationships, you aren't crazy. You're experiencing a crosstalk error. Your current biohardware is picking up a signal from a previous user session that ended in a hard crash. Whether it was a battlefield in 1940 or a famine 400 years ago, that high-intensity emotional charge is still etched into your quantum field. It's an active file that was never properly closed. You think you're living in 2026? Look at your logic. Look at your fears. Half of your operating system is being throttled by ghosts in the machine, data jams from lives you don't even remember. You can't affirm your way out of a legacy code error. You have to access the directory, identify the corrupt file, and delete it. We aren't here for reincarnation therapy. We're here for data purging. We're clearing the cache so your 6-foot frame of hardware can finally run the signal it was actually built for. The past isn't behind you, it's inside the code. The master patch, the quantum Bible conclusion. So, where does the repair manual exist? It's been sitting in the public domain for thousands of years, encrypted in the Bible. But you can't read it with a religious mind. You have to read it with a quantum mind. When the text says, "Behold, I make all things new," it isn't a promise for the afterlife. It's a system restore command. It's about collapsing the infinite wave functions of the old Earth, the old corrupted 3D simulation, and rendering a new reality in real time. The ancient Hebrew prophets weren't dreamers. They were signal technicians who understood that the end of days is just the end of a faulty program. The physics of 2026 is finally revealing the code. We now know that the observer, you, determines the state of the particle. If you are operating from a cleared hardware system, with your legacy code deleted and your heart oscillator tuned to the correct frequency, you don't just live in the world, you engineer it. I'm Thane Cross. My mission is to give you the technical specs to bridge the gap between ancient wisdom and quantum reality. No more blind faith. It's time for system mastery. If your signal lets you watch this far, it's because your internal RAS recognized the truth. Your hardware is ready for the upgrade. Comment code below if you're ready to delete the legacy files. Subscribe, hit the bell. I'll see you in the next broadcast.